Hello and welcome to the video. I'm Jimmy the Mower and today we're going to be changing this pivot bar on these Magna 250 cutting heads. I'm going to show you how to change these pivot bars today. The reasoning behind this is these cutting heads run on these pivot bars and the rear roller. The rear roller's got bearings in there, they go round, they need to be checked on a regular basis, and your pivot bars need to be checked to make sure they're straight. So not only have you got the correct height of cut, but the correct attack angle of cut as well. Now, these do get bent. This is the centre cutting reel number one, the underbelly one, and they do get bent. Now, you can't help that. You're running along, you're hitting hard surfaces, they're bouncing up and down. They just start to warp over a season. This one's not too bad. However, I'm going to change it for a brand new one just to show you exactly what's got to be done. If they're visibly bent, they're never going to come out through here. If they're in a real bad way, you have to push them through to a certain degree where you can cut them off with an angle grinder and then slide them back out or move them from the straighter side out. Wherever they bend really, it tends to be here. They're bending on this pivot point. This is where the arm's held. So this is tending to be straight inside here, and this bit gets sort of bent up inside the arm clamp. So if you ever need to cut it off, you need to cut it off about here. There is a little rubber seal that goes in there. I've just pushed that in so you can't see it very well, but there's a little rubber seal that goes in there. Don't worry about that when you're cutting it off. Just cut it off and we'll have to put a new seal in after. Right, being as this is a centre one, it's the most difficult one to change. We've got it off the machine. The way you get it off the machine, there's a clamp and it just clamps on either side there and holds it like this. So that's held in position. If you can't free it from the clamp because it's too bent, there's problems, you can undo it slightly, and then you've got this 17mm on the end. I don't know which way the ratchet is. You've got this 17mm on the end, and basically that just holds this washer in. Because this one's underneath, it's being dragged along. The front two cutters are being pushed all the time, so they're being pushed back onto the bar the whole way. This one's being dragged along, so it needs this collar at the front to hold it in position so it doesn't slip through and pull out. Right, I'll just undo this. So there we go. We've got the collar there, nice thick piece of steel to hold the bar in place. We've got a spring washer, which is always handy, or a compression washer. They fit on there, and then a 17mm nut. Not quite sure how bolt. Sorry, not quite sure how long that one is, but you know, you don't really want to go much deeper. You can tap them a bit deeper if you like, but if that one's in there, I'll put the same one back in, or a new one of the same length. So we'll put those together at the side. The threads are good on there. Sometimes if it's had a hard life, the threads are battered and pulled because it's been pulling a lot, not adjusted up properly. So that's how we do it. Now, there's two ways of getting the bar out. We can push it through this way and pull it through, and it's a bit stiff, might be a bit out of true, I'm not sure. Or we can take it out that way. Oh, the ring's just come out now. Look, there you go. There's your little rubber O-ring. That sits in that recess there, and there's one on this side as well. We've got a grease nipple on top. We pump that grease nipple full of grease. Once the bar's in situ, we pump it full, a ring either side, and that holds that grease in position. Allows the cutting head to pivot backwards and forwards, so side to side, sorry, as it's going along the undulating ground. Okay, so that's what we do. On the cutting arm, there's another little grease nipple, and we grease that one up, and that allows it to pivot up and down as well. So you can make sure everything's well greased. So that's how it is. On this side, I'll put that little ring over there. There's a little collar, and again, this is designed to hold it on because it's trying to pull itself off the back of the bar, trying to pull the bar through there and out the back. So there's a little collar on there, and this is put in with an Allen key headed bolt, or a hex headed bolt, whichever way you describe it. I'm not sure. Well, that's come out easier than I thought. So that's that one. Now, so there's the bolt then that we remove with the Allen key. It's got quite a bit of rust on there. It's not bad. It's just been a bit dry where it's been in the threads. If there's ever one that's going to cause you any problems, it's probably this one. It's pulling on this all the time, and it's pushing on this all the time, so they can go. You don't have to replace it with an Allen key fitting one. You can put a normal bolt through into there as long as you've got enough thread on it. It's threaded, one side of the collar's threaded and the other side isn't. You drop it through and then it just threads onto the other side. Okay, so that's how that works. Now we've got to get this collar off. I'll put that down over there. Now we've got to get this collar off. Now, these collars can be problematic. I've had a lot of problems with these. Again, people put the bars in, they give it a good old belt with a trusty lump hammer and they burr them over a bit and then you can't get the collars back off. If you've already bent the bar on this side, it's got to come out this side. There's no two ways about it. However, you can cheat a little bit and move the bar towards you if it will move, and you can bang the collar a little bit further down onto the bar. You can get an angle grinder in with a flapping disc and go round the edge and just take off any burrs. Or if it's not quite that bad, a little bit of emery paper and you can rub that on round there. That's like sandpaper, but it's quite abrasive and takes bits off metal. Okay, so you can take that off round there and that'll work. Ideally, once the burrs are moved from this side, I'll get a photograph of that for you. You'll see the collar close up. You need to move it off. Now, with a bit of luck, this one should come off because the bar's fairly new and it won't come off. That's how it is, eh? Right. No, it won't. So I'm going to have to give it a little bit of persuasion and just tap it towards me. I'll pull the bar backwards. Now that bar is stiff in there, so just knock it and then push it forward again, turn it round. So we've got it the other way and then tap it again. Turn it round, tap it again, and away it comes. Right, so we've got the ring off. That's the collar, and then I'm not sure if you can see, but that end there is clear and that end there is threaded. So you put the bolt in, if I can find the bolt again, put the bolt in through the clear end, it goes through, and then it sits in and screws into the threaded end there at the bottom. Okay, so it screws into that threaded end and that's it, and it holds it right through the centre of the bar. Put those down. Now with a bit of luck it should come out. Maybe need a bit of release spray on it, I'm not sure. There's the other ring that's come out. Maybe we'll go this way. Move it backwards and forwards a bit. I don't want to get the hammer involved if I can help it. I have got some spray around here. Put some release spray on there. Some of this stuff's good stuff. Spray it on. Don't worry about it getting it everywhere. It's only like a thin oil with a secret ingredient that shifts everything. So it really does work. But we just need to, it really does work. We just need to pull this through. He says, convincingly, until he gets to the end. I'll get a bit of rag on my hand now to get a good grip of that. Twist it out, hey, and there we go. Right, so that's our bar. Now you can see where it's been sat in there, can't you? You can see where it's been wearing on the front there and on the back there. And a little bit there in the middle where it's all dark still. That's where it's been smothered in grease and sat in there. So I'll put that bar to one side. Now here's our new bar. I think there is a part number on there. I can't read the part number, but I'll put the part number in the description for you. So there's our new bar. Okay, now we've got the thread in the front. This is greased up as well. We'll just put a bit of bulldog spray on it to be able to get it in. But there is some grease on there just to stop it going rusty, because any little bits of rust can hamper it going through. So you've got this end here. Now you'll probably, when you're changing one of these, you'll undoubtedly put one in back to front, because that's just what you do. It happens all the time. But if you try and put it in the right way, it does help. So this little hole at the back, that's where the collar goes on, and this little hole dead in the front there, that's where the collar goes on and sits that side. So I'll try and thread it in from here. Should go in a little bit easier than the other one came out. And it does. Now, if you ever have any problems with these, and it's a new bar, there are actual bushes in there. And the small bushes, you can knock them out. You need a long bladed screwdriver. and you put the long bladed screwdriver or thin bar down there and start to tap round and ease it round gently, and you'll tap round and you'll push the bush out that end, turn it round, push the bush out this end, and they'll come out and the bushes will sit back in. It takes them years to wear. These cutting heads are a couple of years old, so there's not much wear in those at all. So that's it, that's our bar through. Now the bar's through, we can just start the reassembly. We've got the bar in position then, that's all in there. I'm going to put the collar on now. Now, these collars don't have to go back on exactly the same way as they came off. However, I tend to do that because they just seem to sit a little bit better. That one there, you can see where it's had the O-ring sat up against it. It's lighter there and darker round the edge. So the O-ring's been sat in there and protecting it. So we'll just give it a bit of a rub round with the emery cloth, and we'll go inside and just take off anything that shouldn't really be on there. It's not an exact science, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't do anything at all, but it just makes me feel better, I know that much. So we'll do that, we'll rub that round. We've already got a bit of spray on the bar, we'll put a bit of spray inside there, and then hopefully we rub the collar on. Now the threaded bit, which is there, threaded end goes at the bottom, and the light end goes on. I nearly forgot the rubber then. I'd have been in trouble, wouldn't I? So the rubber goes on, we push the rubber ring on, and while I'm pushing this one onto there, I shall put the one onto the front as well. I'd give those a little bit of a rub round with a cloth, but pick some grime up off the bench sometimes. So put that one on there, they slip down and it sits perfectly back in that little recess. Now the collar will go on, I'll show you at the front. It just sits on like this. I don't want to push it on or force it on, but it just sits on, and it sits on at about that angle there, and that little pin, if I can find it now, there it is, sits through the top. Turn it round and it sits in through there and goes right the way through. So I'll put this on over here. It should, that went on easy enough, didn't it? And it even lined up. How about that? Happy days. Get our Allen key and just twist it up, or hex key as they're called now. They're always called Allen keys in my day. So put those back in, tighten that up, give it a bit of welly, because hopefully if everything goes to plan, that's staying on there for at least a season, if not longer. Now the bar's in there, we can push the bar forward, there you go, and you heard that clunk in as it went into place. That's sat up firmly against there, and now this bit goes in. Now I'll put this together, you don't have to put it together straight away, I just put it with it so we don't lose it. When you put these back on the mower, you put it back on, you put this bar through the clamp. So you can just offer it up to the clamp, put the clamp on loosely, and then sort of guide it in and tighten it up, okay? And then once it's tightened up, if it's not fully in, which sometimes it isn't, you can then put this collar on the end, like so. And as you tighten this up, I hope I'm going the right way. Yeah, and as you tighten this up, it then pulls this through and back in. It'll be sat at the correct height because it's sat on the rear roller. So it will roll towards you as you tighten it up, and then that will tighten up. And then that's it. You've changed your pivot bar. Now, it's the same for the other two cutters on the front. Apart from you haven't got this little collar on there, you've just got this one on. So you can take those out either way. However, if you've got a bent piece and it's really bent, you're best to cut that off, put it out, knock it through, and then it's all done. So there you go. Hopefully you got many, many hours of happy mowing with a brand new pivot bar fitted to your cutting head. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to get all these tools cleaned down now and pack up because that's us done for the day. If you've got anything nice to say, pop it in the comments section below. Anything more about these cutting heads that you know that I don't, tell me that as well, please, because I'm always happy to learn. We've got loads of other videos on these, the Ransomes mowers, the cutting heads and everything that goes with them. So please have a look in the description and everything will be listed in there. We've got a playlist as well on our Jimmy the Mower YouTube channel. Have a look on there. We've got everything to do with the cutting heads, mowers, engine servicing, everything you could ever imagine. So give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you can. Thanks for watching. I'm Jimmy the Mower. I'll catch you on the next one.